Hi there, Brett Hornby here with another sports video update for my YouTube channel. This time we'll be talking about the Calgary Flames and what they continue to be doing in the off season. With the first big move they made was firing Glenn Gulson and his staff and bringing in Bill Peters as head coach a week later after the season ended and just before he went over to Denmark at the World Hockey Championships, where he coached Team Canada there. And then Team Canada unfortunately didn't get past Switzerland for the gold medal and lost to the Americans in the gold-bronze medal game. But I feel that tournament, you get what's left that's willing to make the call for their country, who is out of the playoffs and who still wants to go across the pond to play for their country. But while Bill Peters was there, he got to see guys like Johnny Gaudreau, Michael Backlund, who actually led the Team Sweden to their gold, and he was the captain of that team, and guys like David Rittich. So there was a couple Flames he got to scout on before he gets to really know the team. But the other thing that I want to update on is that when Bill Peters got back from Denmark, that he very much assembled his coaching staff together, and I'm pretty intrigued by the names that they brought in both Geoff Ward and Ryan Huska. Geoff Ward first, he was an assistant coach with the Boston Bruins for 7 seasons, including the 2011 team when they brought home the Stanley Cup. So his name is on the Stanley Cup there. And he also coached a year in Germany before he came back to the NHL, where he most recently worked at the New Jersey Devils this past season. And they had a recent resurgence with their offense. And that's definitely one thing the Flames definitely lacked going down the stretch. As in, he worked on the power play in the Devils, which I looked it up this past season. The New Jersey Devils was ranked 11th in the league, while the Flames were ranked 28th, which it's almost hard to believe with the talent that they have, at least in the top 6 boards, on how he ranks that low in the league. But Geoff Ward was brought in to be Bill Peters' associate coach and to work on the power play, which definitely needs revamping based on what happened this past season. So I definitely like that hire. And the name might sound familiar to many fans, is that a couple of years ago, when they were looking for Bob Hartley's successor, apparently Geoff Ward was in the finalist, in the running for head coach before they also decided on Glenn Gulson. And the next guy that I'm really excited about is Ryan Huska, who for the last 4 years, he coached our farm team last year when they were in Adirondack, and then the past 3 seasons in Stockton, who was the farm team for the Calgary Flames, obviously. And even before he coached our farm team, he also had a very dominant, junior career. First when he played for the Kamloops Blazers, and when they had their Memorial Cup teams from 92, 94, 95, and I also have videos from my recent spring holiday where I went to said Kamloops. One of the things I did was I went inside the Sandman Center to see the whole history of the Kamloops Blazers, and Ryan Huska's name was right on the greatest Blazers. And after his playing career, he didn't play. He only played 1 game in the NHL, but he was a career minor leaguer. But then he also coached the Kelowna Rockets in the WHL, and he led that team to the Eastern Memorial Cup tournament in 2009, but fell short. But he has a predominant junior career and developing talent, and from what his work he's done with Stockton, it's been pretty good when you got guys like Brett Kulak, and you got Rasmus Anderson and Oliver Shillington, who are knocking on the door on defense, that are making their way up to the NHL. And then you got guys like Mark Jankowski and even John Gillies and David Rittich spent some time in the NHL this past season and that, and you got guys like Andrew Mangiapane that all worked under Ryan Huska and developing in Stockton. So I figured a promotion was definitely warranted to come up from the farm, because I'm pretty sure any NHL team would potentially pluck him from the Flames, and it'd also be nice to have some continuity for all the young guys that are on the cusp of making the team, or when they get called up or called down, when they continue to develop, which is one thing I feel the Flames have definitely improved in that regard in the past few seasons. But I say I'm definitely, right now, I've liking the changes that they made in the off season. I hope many Flames fans have calmed down after the Bill Peters hiring, but right now we're after the Stanley Cup Finals. We are still waiting for the draft and free agency, which ultimately it's going to be the players in front of the coaches that will decide the fate of Bill Peters, Geoff Ward, and Ryan Huska. The other guys that will still be part of the Flames that have been retained is Martin Jelna's the Eliminator, was still the eye in the sky coach in the press box. He stayed, and then they kept Jordan Segla as the goaltending coach, and then Jamie Pringle, the video guy. Those guys are still on the staff from the previous regime. So right now I'm still liking the hiring of Geoff Ward and Ryan Huska, which I was about to say, Geoff Ward is going to be in charge of the power play, and based on his work that he did, especially recently with New Jersey, can't get any worse than what we had before. But I think this team just needed a change of philosophy, and then Ryan Huska, who has definitely been great at developing our defensemen, and he's going to be in charge of our penalty kill, which Paul Gerard actually did a decent job of our penalty kill in the second half of the year, but he kind of came with the package with Glenn Golich's crew, who more often than not would have left anyway. So that's my take on both Geoff Ward and Ryan Huska coming in to be assistant coaches with Bill Peters. And right now I'm just waiting on any other big news that the Flames could make, either at the draft or free agency, and it's all going to come down to the players in the off season, how they train and build relationships with the coach, and how they perform in the next season. But with the sudden decline of play from February till April, how Calgary have fell through the standings, changes were inevitable, and so far, like I said, I'm liking the changes. Anyway, hit like and subscribe, and you can follow my other content on my channel that I try to do some more sports takes like this, and I do a lot of scenery, and I have definitely a lot of fresh content for my spring holiday. So I'll see you in the next video.